Money Mindset 2.0, Part 2. The next level of money mindset for the highly sensitive entrepreneurs and leaders of the Business Miracles community. As I shared, you might not like the message. And you might really not like the message of this training. And as a result, you might not like me. But I am not here to be your friend. I am here to be your mentor. And most importantly, as always, the choice is yours. You can take what I'm going to share with you and really allow it to open your mind, break you out of socialized concepts of money limitation, enter you into a freedom space of flow and creation, or not. And I am not attached. The choice is yours. As I also shared in last training, according to Louise Hay, most people get angry when they first hear that money is the easiest thing to demonstrate, but it is true. But we must release our negative reactions to it and our negative beliefs about it first. She also said, it's easier to teach a workshop on sexuality than on money. People get incredibly angry when their beliefs about money are challenged. So today, on this training, we start with a prayer. A prayer from author, yoga and meditation teacher, Tosha Silver, and her book, Change Me Prayers. Change me, divine beloved, into one who can roll with what cannot change. Grateful even for hard knocks. Let me embrace all tests, even when they come. And may I release any fear of financial loss, knowing all can be replenished with ease by divine will. What I appreciate most about Tosha Silver's work is her emphasis on personal responsibility. The book is titled Change Me Prayers, not Give to Me Prayers, not I deserve more prayers, not Make it happen for me prayers, but Change Me Prayers. Change me, divine beloved, into one who can release any fear of financial loss, knowing all can be replenished with ease by divine will. And here's where we enter into the possibility of a shift in perception, a miracle, when it comes to cost versus investment. Let's start with definitions, shall we? Cost, noun, an amount that has to be paid or spent to buy or obtain something. Investment, also a noun, an act of devoting time, effort, or energy to a particular undertaking with the expectation of a worthwhile result. For me, making the mindset shift from cost to investment was key in changing my relationship with money, my money story, and then therefore my experience with abundance. If, as highly sensitive entrepreneurs and leaders, our nervous system is wired to take in stimulation at a much higher degree than those who are not highly sensitive, to me, it only makes sense to consciously choose what I use for stimulation. The concept of cost, for me, as a highly sensitive entrepreneur is an experience, a stimulation of loss. This activates fear, worry, concern. As a highly sensitive, I feel this deeply. The concept of investment for me as a highly sensitive entrepreneur is an experience, a stimulation of gain. This activates possibility, creativity, privilege of agency. I feel this deeply. For years now, the lens of investment is what I choose to see through. And most importantly, for me to challenge socialized concepts of both cost and investment. For example, society says buying a daily Starbucks coffee is a cost. Is it? Society says buying a house is an investment. Is it? Now, I'm not saying either it is or isn't for either one. I'm saying the choice is yours. It's your privilege of agency to decide what it is for you. In order to do that, you must deeply know your own personal values, not your family of origin values, not a religious institution's values, not even your best friend's values, your values. What do you value when it comes to time, energy, and money? During a private mentor session with an HSL++ member, she said, "Why is it socially acceptable to spend $30,000 to renovate a bathroom, but not to invest in your health?" Great question to seriously ponder. Another example, a dichotomy I find so fascinating, is that typically highly sensitives love learning, right? Give me another book, a degree, a certification. Yet, since I've now been doing this work for 20 years, I can't even count the number of times I've seen highly sensitives resentful of being asked to invest to receive that learning. What is it about this fascinating socialized concept that we shouldn't have to invest to receive support? Why do we put the pressure on our family of origin, or even a partner or spouse, or goodness gracious, our children, to provide us with everything we need and feel resentful when they don't? And then resentful when asked to invest to receive the support we need elsewhere. So it's understood that we invest in our physical house, but expected that we shouldn't invest just as much, if not more, in our mental, emotional, psychological, spiritual, physical house. Physical as in human body house. Why is that? Who says? Who made that rule? Investment, a noun, an act of devoting time, effort, or energy to a particular undertaking with the expectation of a worthwhile result. Years ago, as I shared during our last training, it became very clear to me that my family of origin was not the place to invest to create a change in my money relationship. No one's fault, no blame, shame, or judgment, just privilege of agency. Change me, divine beloved, into one who can roll with what cannot change, grateful even for hard knocks. Let me embrace all tests, even when they come. And may I release any fear of financial loss, knowing all can be replenished with ease by divine will. I was going to need to go somewhere else to learn how to accomplish this type of change. And so I've been working with my mentor, spiritual teacher, therapist, since 1995. Thank goodness. Because, wow, where I've grown and where I continue to grow and where I will continue to grow under her mentorship. And here's evidence of where I've really grown regarding my privilege of agency and investment. More than once, I've raised her rate without even being asked. Investment, a noun, an act of devoting time, effort, or energy to a particular undertaking with the expectation of a worthwhile result. I choose to acknowledge, honor, and respect where I devote my time, energy, and effort. I choose to define what is a worthwhile result for me. Final story for this training. Listen and see what you receive. I was recently getting my hair cut in this neighborhood salon I've started going to. And while I'm getting my hair cut, I'm watching this scene play out behind me as I'm looking in my stylist mirror. This woman, this customer, comes in desperate to have something fixed about a cut, something that she got somewhere else. A stylist consults with her, gives a recommendation. The customer agrees. The stylist does her thing, and within minutes, the customer's eyes light up with gratitude, relief, appreciation. We all get it. Hair. It's important. A joyful exchange between expert and customer. The customer then goes to the front counter to check out, and I can still see this in the mirror. And then exclaims very out loud to the entire salon, wow, $75? That's expensive. It took you less than 5 minutes. Now, I take note in that moment that this customer is standing there decked out in the brand Lululemon and has such a large diamond on her hand that I can see it from across the salon. Next, I catch myself. And my next thought, who am I to judge? Maybe she works at Lululemon and gets a 90% discount. Maybe the diamond is a family heirloom passed down for generations. Maybe she's an actor shooting a commercial around the corner and this stuff doesn't even belong to her. Who knows? This isn't what matters. What matters is a customer came off the street with a terrible problem that was solved for her expertly. Yet in a matter of minutes, this customer went from relief and appreciation to resentment. Rather than seeing the investment of getting the solution she needed provided to her expertly, which in this instance also happened to include quickly, She only saw the cost, equating what? Value with time, dismiss of the value of the stylist's expertise. In my opinion, in my experience, her outburst said loads about her and her own money story more than it said anything about the stylist and the service. Your assignment, if you choose. Number 1, what do you value? The best way to determine is through tracking. For the next week, track everywhere you exchange money. What did you buy? Column 1. How did you feel? Column 2. Cost or investment? Column 3. Why? Column 4. Information gathering only. Number 2, end of week. Review what you tracked and assess. What do you see? Is your experience more one of cost or investment? If anything, what would you like to shift about your experience? Number 3, if you do identify a desire to shift, what energy management tool will you choose to support for at least the next 30 days? Let me embrace all tests, even when they come. And may I release any fear of financial loss, knowing all can be replenished with ease by divine will.